Hello friends, welcome to yet another session on essay perspectives. The topic for today is forgiveness is the final form of love. As always friends, before I proceed, I have a personal request. My third edition of my book Ethics, Integrity and Aptitude has been pirated. Unfortunately, pirated book is of very low print and paper quality, so I urge all of you to buy original. Original books can be bought from the seller Arvind India on Flipkart and affordable on Amazon. Friends, it's imperative for all of us to conceptualize the essay as being made of various components and subcomponents before we even start writing the essay. So this essay can be divided into these components. First, we will introduce the topic, explain the essence of the topic. Then we would elaborate on why forgiveness is the final form of love. Then we would analyze the pitfalls of forgiveness. Then we would moot if not forgiveness, then what else is the final form of love. Then we would conclude. Friends, I feel the best way to introduce this essay is by referring to Jesus Christ. So Jesus Christ was so magnanimous, and Jesus Christ forgave even those people who crucified him. What was the reason, root cause for Jesus being so magnanimous and so be considerate to the people who troubled him so much and who plotted his death? It was sheer, pure love towards the mankind. So Jesus loved everyone, including his enemies, including the persons who troubled him. So thus that ultimate love, that fulfilling love was manifested in the form of forgiveness. So he actually forgave them. Then friends, I am reminded of another character named Amrutamati from a popular Kannada treatise Yashodhara Charite. So, let me just brief a story of this Amrutamati in one or two lines. See, Amrutamati was a princess. She is a princess, she's not a princess, she's a queen of King Yashodhara of Ujjain. But once in the night, she gets infatuated by the song sung by someone near the palace. Then upon inquiry, she realizes that it is a Mahout who is singing in the palace, and she gets so enamored by that song, she instantly falls in love for him. Then later, once she goes to meet him, and she realizes that he is the ugliest person on this earth. Then even then, her love for his song makes her keep all his ugliness aside, and she continues to be in love with him. One day every day she starts meeting him, but one day she goes late. When she goes late, that fellow was, he's so much furious that he beats her, he bruises her, he batters her. But despite that, she forgives him and she continues to love him. So the rest of the story aside, here, despite being inflicted by physical assault, even then the Amrutamati continues to love him because she was able to forgive him, because that is the final form of love. Okay, so this is another instance that struck my mind. Friends, actually we read lot of texts, we relate to lot of regional languages as well. So such examples can come from any language, can come from any reading, so you are free to use them. So thus, one is Jesus, who was kind enough to forgive even those people who crucified him. Okay, so that is that is a way in which Jesus expressed his love for mankind. Similarly, Amrutamati, though being one of the most beautiful queens, yet she also, despite being physically assaulted by the ugliest man, continued to forgive him, continued to love him. So again, forgiveness is the final form of love. So these are one or two examples. Some similar examples you can write and you can continue. Then friends, once we have given the introduction, it is important for us to elaborate on the essence of the topic. So first, what is love? Basically, love is affection towards someone. If you love someone, you express affection towards that person. Or in other words, love also means deep liking. If you like someone deeply, it is the extreme form of liking. It is the extreme form of affection is what we call love. So then what is forgiveness? forgiveness is basically the tendency to excuse wrongdoings. Correct? A person who commits a mistake, he is excused for his mistakes, is what we call forgiveness. Now let us bring these two together, for love and forgiveness, and then try to dwell upon the meaning. Forgiveness is the final form of love. Correct? See, basically, if excusing is not a simple thing, right? So if a person is inclined to excuse another person for his or her wrongdoing, that is solely because the person who excuses the wrongdoer has immense love, immense affection, immense liking towards the wrongdoer, right? So in other words, if any person commits a mistake, okay, another person who has deep interest, deep love towards the wrongdoer has the tendency to forget all those mistakes and then accept that person. So correct, right? So this, to put it in another way, the tendency of deep affection, the tendency of deep liking gets manifested by the way a person excuses another person who commits a mistake. Hope I am clear. Friends, we have to open up the discussion, open up the analysis with a topic statement. See, the topic actually means it's forgiveness is the final form of love. See, after you explain what is love, after you explain what is forgiveness, then after you establish link between love and forgiveness, then you should be able to say, see, thus the deep liking, deep interest gets manifested by the way a person is forgiven, by the way the wrongs of another person are excused. But however, is this the final form in which, is this the ultimate way in which a deep liking, in which a deep inclination, deep interest gets manifested, or is there any other way in which also it gets expressed? Is it making sense? Yes. So now our essay should explore whether excusing the wrongdoer is the ultimate way in which deep interest or love gets manifested, or are there any other ways in which it can get manifested. So like that you can write and you can explore, you can open up the topic for discussion. Then friends, first we have to argue. See, anyway, I keep on telling you, first we have to bat for the topic. Whatever is given, first we should justify the topic, we should substantiate the topic. So here the topic is forgiveness is the final form of love. So first we have to analyze and we have to justify why forgiveness is the final form of love. Okay, the first topic is overcoming hurt. See, because what is this overcoming hurt? It involves overcoming hurt. See, let us say A and B, correct? B has wronged A. B has done something to A which has left deep scar, deep hurt in the mind of A. Yet, okay, it is only love that can make, that can empower, that can push A to forgive B. Correct? So thus, this forgiveness, the undercurrent of this forgiveness is we have to overcome that hurt. Correct? See, you are already hurt, you are already deep, there is a deep scar in your mind, yet you have to forgive that fellow who has created that hurt, who has created that scar. Correct? So, which is not easy. So thus, forgiveness involves overcoming that hurt. It does not happen with normal person, right? So if you, let us say there are two persons who has hurted you. The one whom you love, the other one whom you don't love. So obviously you get a soft corner towards the person whom you love, and then whatever hurt they have created in you, you tend to forgive and forget. But it is not same with others, right? See, here there are two emotions, emotion of hurt and emotion of love. If and only if emotion of love is big enough or is bigger than the emotion of hurt, then there will be forgiving. Otherwise it will not be so. Okay? Then overcoming the disgust. Friends, whenever somebody commits some mistake, we get disgusted. See, let us say a son has committed some burglary, has lied, or has done some mischief, correct? See, then it is actually disgusting. When someone else does the same mistake, we get disgusted. But when our own children do that mistake, we tend to correct them, we tend to overcome that disgust, because that the emotion of love is definitely bigger than the emotion of disgust, correct? So thus it's not simple. It happens only when a person truly loves the wrong doer. Okay, I am reminded of another fictitious story here. See, wherein there are three characters in the story: mother, son, daughter-in-law. Correct? After marriage, son starts loving his wife, ignoring his mother. So much so that he starts fulfilling each and every desire of wife. Correct? Once wife desires to get the heart of his mother. Okay, so then the son, without even thinking, without even having an iota of remorse, he goes, kills his mother, and then takes the heart, and he is on the way to present the heart to his wife. Then accidentally he stumbles upon. Then that heart of the mother suddenly becomes sympathetic, and she compassionate, and the heart starts saying, so be careful and walk. So thus that heart of the mother actually has already forgiven the ill will committed by the son. See, this is one of the famous folklores which we come across in various parts of rural India. So what I am trying to tell you is, so thus it is only when that, this mother, actually she is hurt by the son. She must have felt the disgust by the son, but yet her love, her emotion of love towards the son overpowers everything, surpasses everything. Okay. Then the third thing is overcoming guilt. It is, you may be wondering what is the role of guilt here. See friends, when we forgive someone without punishing him or her, directly or indirectly, we are leaving the scope for that person to relapse to that wrongdoing or mistakes. Correct? So thus, you have to work, then you will definitely have the guilt, right? So had I punished this fellow without forgiving, perhaps he would not commit that mistake in future. But by forgiving him, I am at least leaving the scope for him to continue to commit the mistake in future also. So thus that element of guilt has to be overcome. Correct? So thus it's not easy. Then last is risking one's fortunes. See, forgiving one person is not simple, because sometimes it may adversely affect your material fortunes also. Let us say, take the example of an employer and an employee. Let us say an employee has indulged in embezzlement of some funds. Correct? So, but out of love for that employee, if you forgive him, or maybe out of for whatever reasons, if you forgive him, then the chances that employee may commit a bigger embezzlement, a larger misappropriation in the future also, right? Then you are only in trouble. So even materially, you are risking your fortunes in future. But yet, what is that emotion that empowers you, that readies you to take up that risk of losing the fortune in future? It is purely that love. So thus there are so many demerits associated with forgiveness. Correct? It is actually, you have to bear that hurt, you have to bear that disgust, you have to bear that guilt, and you have to take the risk of losing something in future. Yet you are forgiving that person, knowing very well this demerits or drawbacks associated with, is purely because that is the purest form of love, or the final form of love. So that's how you can argue, friends. Then friends, once we have said that forgiveness is this great for final form of love, then we have to analyze the pitfalls of forgiveness. So what are the pitfalls of forgiveness? First one is obscures judgment. See, love is an emotion. Emotional judgments are never correct. Only rational judgments are correct. All of us are aware of it. But this emotion of love prevents a person from taking proper stock of the situation. So thus judgments go awry. See, let us say a son has committed theft, son has committed burglary, whatever. Son has committed something even more grievous. Yet the father would, let us say the son is arrested. Yet the father would hire a lawyer. Father would try his best to save his or her son, right? So in father's eyes, his son is correct. So father is not able to think, that fellow has committed a mistake, let him rot in jail for some time so that he comes out better. But so it is this love that obscures judgment. Because of that, forgiveness actually leads to undesirable outcomes. Next, perpetuates wrong. Correct, no? If you forgive a person without punishing him, then he thinks that it is easy to commit a mistake and then just go get scot-free. So you have to, then the wrongdoing may get perpetuated. So then, having said that, then if not this forgiveness, then what else is the final form of love? What else is the final form of love? See, friends, according to me, forgiving, though it's a form of expression of love, but it cannot be the final form of love. Only because you just forgive and keep quiet, then you are doing harm to that person because he is continuing to be the same, and you are harming the society because that fellow will create some discord in society in future. So then a person, if you truly love a person, what do you expect from him? You would expect that person to stay happy. You would expect that person to be respected by others. You would expect that person not to get into any troubles in future, right? So that is possible not by mere forgiveness. That is possible only by reforming that person. So, according to me, if you love someone and if that fellow commits a mistake, your expression of love should not end with just forgiving that person, but your final expression of love should get extended to correcting that person, reforming that person. Then only there is meaning to this love. Otherwise, love becomes meaningless. Correct, friends? Hope I have made it clear. It is not forgiveness that is the final form of love. It is reforming an individual after forgiving him is the final and the purest form of love. So that's how you can conclude also, friends, actually. Hope I have made sense, friends. So it's a very simple, straightforward topic. So whether forgiveness is the final expression of love or not actually is the topic. Then we have explained how forgiveness can be final form of love. Then we have explained what are the pitfalls associated with, and towards the end we are concluding stating that it is not just forgiveness that is the final form of love, but reforming an individual who is forgiven is the final form of love. Why? Because if an individual is reformed, he will not commit that mistake again, and he will not get into trouble by virtue of committing that mistake in future. Correct? And he would not turn out to be an antisocial element in future. Okay, friends? Thank you. Have a happy reading. Bye bye.